because they know that if they reply to it, people are going to fucking freak out. If the ECM doesn't work, people are going to be pissed. If it does work, people are going to use the ECM again. I'm kind of trying to test it out myself, and bases, it kind of looks like it doesn't work at all, but I kind of need more testing. I've only had about a week of testing with it. If it doesn't work, then my ECM is going to go away, and I'm going to start using my Grimshine in front of the Reapers, and then people are really going to get fucking pissed. Because the 300% quality coming out of my Reapers
Price.
I don't think anybody wants to see a 300%
Price, we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hey, yeah, we're live. This is Price is Wrong from Battle Vortex. We're just kind of winging it tonight a little bit. We're just going to kind of have a little bit of a casual roundtable. Liam was supposed to be hosting tonight, but he had some kind of a family emergency. He couldn't. He had to bail kind of at the last minute. So I really just wanted to see, what everybody else on here wanted to talk about. I know. I guess maybe we can just go down here real quick and just make sure everybody's actually present. I know the guy next to me on my screen is Extreme, and he should be. I know he stepped away from his computer for a minute, and we're looking at his windows right now. But I guess next to him, I'm showing Ryan. Ryan, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Karma 88, Sector 30 right now. So, and I will be called a shark in your opinion. Okay,
so you're like just a moderate coiner.
No, not moderate. I told you I'd do about 300 or 400 a month.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're definitely a little bit higher than moderate. You're not might not be like a super whale, but yeah, I get you. And Joel, I know is right next to him, and Joel's a regular.
Oh, regular, yeah.
And Joel, I mean, you're actually running a guard these days, man. You're like really been elevating your game, huh?
Yeah. I'm actually running a guard for once.
What level are you up to now?
I'm a 65.
65?
9-coiner.
Oh, you're getting there. I know Evil Kiwi next to him on my screen. He's also a regular, and he's a whale. And you're like in the 90s, aren't you? Like a level 90 or something like that?
No, I was just in level 83.
83.
Yeah.
You'll be passing me shortly.
No, Deacon. We got Deacon over there next to him. How's it going, Deacon?
Going good, man.
Deacon Bacon.
Hey. You said we're not talking about bacon, Price.
That's actually his name, though, right? Well, I guess your game name is Deacon, though, right? I know you go by Deacon Bacon on Twitch or somewhere. Right?
Yeah, I forget where that came up. I don't know. Just made my Twitch name that.
David Chessman, are you on here?
Hey, hi.
Hey, awesome.
Admiral Dutch is the game name. Kiwi's my leader, sort of.
Cool.
Level 85.
Well, the next guy probably doesn't need any introduction, but I'm sure he'll give himself one anyway. That's Sickinger. Sickinger Immortal.
I just started playing yesterday.
So you're a new guy.
So he'll be banned tomorrow.
Oh no!
I know he's good. I know. I've seen some of his videos.
Yeah. Anybody who's friends with him, golly, man. I mean, he definitely loads up your notifications quite. He loads them up, man. Archie, what's going on, Archie?
Just another day.
Just another day. That's cool. And then I know
having to move soon.
Say again.
I may be having to move soon. So I don't know.
You're moving sectors?
No, I'm moving.
You're talking like in real life?
Like house.
Yeah.
Move the house.
All right. Well, hopefully it's a move up for you, man. And then on the end we got Andrew, a.k.a. White Star. I know he's in Liam's Alliance. Right. And well, I guess just to start it off, I mean, is there any particular topics that anybody on here wants to discuss?
I'm kind of interested to figure out if anybody has any insight on the.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you, Archie. You want to know if somebody had insight on something?
Yeah, last
the Reavers.
The Reavers.
The Reavers.
Oh, he's talking about the Pro Nemesis Ravers, the BP that they took out of the Drak base, I do believe.
Oh, so you're just talking about like the event that's supposed to start on the 16th. Then I know there's.
Do
I
you
mean,
reckon?
yeah. Well, I know we have that event that's starting on the 16th, and there is like that one thing. I guess there's like a. I can't remember what they called it, but they have the bar that's supposed to be on the up by the sector influence that's going to like count down or whatever or diminish over time, and then it will open up these other targets where you can have like 4 people go in there and hit it at one time. And you have like a 10-minute limit to basically kill the target, and then I don't know how they're going to reward the proto-nem, but from what I understand that's supposed to be a possible blueprint that you could win from those targets, but I'm not 100% sure on that. To be honest with you on any of that.
Is it going to be a proto-nemesis or is it a Reaver?
It's supposed to be a cross between the Grimshine and the Nemesis, isn't it? It's a new hole or something.
Oh no, the new hull is the cross between the Grimshine and something else. The proto that they're supposed to be putting out, according to the information, is like a Reaver hybrid. They've added your radioactive defense to it and whatnot. So it might actually be another one of those when the proto-nem first came out. If somebody has it, they're just your base is gone kind of things, or it might just be with all the overpowered fleets we have right now. I kind of think it'll just be another thing that somebody can hit you with, but it's not going to be that great.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually I'm getting ready to open up a slot, guys, here on the panel. Extreme. He got sidetracked. He's probably won't be back for a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and move him and remove him, and that's going to open up a slot for somebody else. So anyway. Yeah, so I mean, as far as the event, I mean, everything we got really is speculation, even regarding the proto-nem. I mean, it could be just a standard proto-nemesis. The pictures I've seen didn't look like they were special in any way. We just know that the Grimshine has recovered the proto-nemesis blueprint. Now, what she does with it, I guess we'll find out on the 16th.
I'm hitting.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be sooner, but hopefully it pays out a lot better than the other one. All right, Nation and Empire made it on. Awesome. But anyway, I know Evil Kiwi and I were talking earlier. Evil Kiwi, you're trying to do some Twitch streaming these days, right? You're trying to join the Twitch streaming club?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but for some reason I keep dropping frames, and I've adjusted the bandwidth and all that sort of thing. It seems to be a bit better, but I'm just wondering if it's actually my internet or maybe my computer.
Well, maybe we can actually talk about that a little bit, because there's always people in Battle Pirates are always wondering about performance issues, and they have a tendency to blame Kixeye right away, and that's not always the that's not always the truth. Any issues that Kixeye has, for example, would affect everybody and not just one person. Oh, it looks like we just lost another person here. Oh, that was Damnation and Hellfire again. But anyway, maybe he'll be back. But anyway, you can if it's your computer, basically, if you can, do you run a Windows computer or is it a Mac?
It's a Windows, and it's what 2.6 gigahertz CPU with an 8 gig RAM.
Well, it sounds like it's a pretty good computer, but what's basically what you could do to make sure that it's. Do you ever monitor your task manager, your performances?
Yes, I do. Normally my CPU runs about 20%, but when Kixeye done that update, it was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know whether it was Chrome or not, but my CPU started running about 60%, and then they done an update on the Wednesday, and then by I think Friday, Saturday, it had calmed down. They'd done something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know generally if you're watching your process utilization, when you're trying to stream, for example, you want to look at your process utilization, memory use while you're running your broadcaster software for Twitch, your Twitch broadcasting software, and just to make sure that you're not hit peaking. You want to make sure your processor's not peaking. And you also want to make sure that your memory's not peaking either. And if you've got 8 gigs of RAM, that's I got 16 gigs of RAM on my computer, but Really, I know Battle Parts does use a lot of memory when you're actually running it, and but if it's using more than, if the highest one, if you organize inside your program, your task manager by the program or by memory, and if you see Chrome all the way at the top and it's using over a gig, then it's probably time to refresh your, and Google Chrome, you'll actually see a whole lot of processes, but the very top one, or whatever one is using the most resources, if it's Flash or Chrome, it might be time to refresh if you're getting well over a gig worth of, if it's using that much memory.
Or
So what do you mean by refresh? Is that...
Well, you can refresh. You can either hit if you click your play button on top of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way. I mean, you can always hit the F5 key or just the refresh icon on your browser too. Just to refresh your game.
Just refresh the browser. Yeah.
Or close the window and relaunch it.
Yeah. But a lot of times that can actually cause trouble though when you're streaming, because when you're streaming live, obviously if you close the window and then you reopen it, you may actually end up having to like re-add that window all the way back to your feed. So that can be a bit of a problem. But if you're just doing refreshes, without actually shutting down your window, you'll probably be fine. But I guess the biggest thing if you're seeing packet loss is you need to know what kind of internet connection you got. Let me see. I got to mute somebody here. Anyway, if you got to know what kind of internet connection you have. Like if you have a 5 meg downstream and it's only like a 1 meg upstream, so it's 5/1. And you're trying to stream in HD with the bit rate of like 2 meg or like 1900 kilobits, which is almost 2 meg. But obviously you're going to drop frames there. So you need to have an internet connection that will support that. And generally you want your upstream to be at least double, okay? Because that way a lot of people don't realize, but even a brand new computer straight from the factory, it's basically it's set to run like virus scans, Windows updates, virus scan updates, and all kinds of other stuff that will put drag on your computer and on your internet connection. If you're playing, if you're streaming Battle Pirates, for example, and you're trying to you have it running on Facebook, and then you got all of these Google ads, and you have all of these update notifications, and all of these other things that happens on Facebook. That's why if you're going to stream, I definitely recommend streaming from Kicksite.com as opposed to Facebook.
Okay, so just one other question. When you're actually streaming, what setting do you use, like add to stream the game?
What kind of what do I?
Do you use screen capture or straight from the URL?
Are you talking about like inside you're using XSplit broadcaster, right?
Yes.
And that, so you're asking like when you're adding the game screen to your stream. Yeah, I mean you can either stream like the whole monitor if you want to, or if you full screen your game, you can do a screen capture and just click the screen where your game is, and and it'll capture that, and then you can search it out and make it fill your screen or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so which is better? Is it better to stream it straight from the URL or just from the screen?
Well, I think it's probably better to do. When you say the URL, I assume you mean the browser window. Yeah. Okay, so you should be able to do either one. If you're, I would definitely say doing the full screen. Like if you full screen the game in one monitor, and then that's the screen that I would try to capture right there, and not necessarily the browser. It'll automatically grab the browser too, but sometimes if you go full screen and back, they don't really go together very well. So if you do the full screen, the flash full screen, then the whole thing should work fine. So I would definitely do the screen capture on the whole thing and not just the browser.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been doing, capturing the screen, because I've got two screens.
Yeah, there's somebody on the. There's also apparently some knowledgeable people here on the Twitch on their YouTube chat, because there's Titan Fox has mentioned OBS, and I actually use XSplit. I'm actually what you're seeing right here. I mean, I got a green screen behind me. I'm actually using XSplit broadcaster software right now is because it actually has an add-on for it. So basically, it can be like a camera. So inside my Hangout here, I'm actually, instead of using my webcam, I'm actually using my XSplit software instead, and that way that's how I'm supporting the green screen behind me. But so I use XSplit and I use OBS, and OBS is really great too for a broadcaster software if you want to stream Battle Pirates, and it's free and it has a lot of really cool plugins. But of course, it's not quite as user friendly as XSplit, but things with a lot more options that you can get generally aren't as user friendly. But OBS is pretty great too. But so is that satisfactory, or?
Yeah, no, that's helped me out a lot. Thanks, Boris.
Well, is there anything else anybody on here wanted to talk about? Well, I know a lot of people complain. I've been seeing a lot of people complain about customer service from Kixeye, and I've been one of them. I'm not going to lie. I've been a customer service whiner myself, and but I work in IT. I'm a network engineer by trade. It's what I do for a living, and when a customer calls in and they have an issue with their service, basically they go through different tiers of service. It'd be like, service tier 1 would be the people who answer the phone, when they call in, and then tier 2 would be like, okay, the guy who answered the phone couldn't resolve the issue, so he's escalating to somebody a bit more knowledgeable. And then he'll escalate to tier 2. Now, if tier 2 is like, well, I need a professional, then he'd go to tier 3. And I'm actually would be tier 3 in network support for our customers. Now, I actually do have a tier 4, so I have somebody I can escalate to as well. But dealing with Kixeye customer service is much the same way, and that a lot of people don't seem to realize or understand that. When you're dealing with customer service, the first person you're getting is tier 1, and basically they're just trying to collect data, see if it's something that they can help you out real, quick and easy. And if it's not, they have to collect data. Well, then their tier 2 may have extra requirements, like, okay, I need you to get this Facebook diagnostics. I need you to get this trace router or whatever. And then send it to us so that we can try to address the issue. So I know a lot of people complain and assume that they're being blamed, by customer service for a lot of their complaints, but really they're just trying to collect data. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of Kixeye customer service does get a bad rap, and I kind of feel bad for them sometimes.
They always ask me to make a video.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hate it when it's retro, right? Because it's like it already happened. It's like how can you go back and make a video?
Oh yeah, I have two problems with that. One is they say make a video, but then at the same time they'll show you replays they won't look at because they aren't valid. Or you do have a legit video and you put it in and you get the next time send us a video, but you attached a video. And you tell them that I attached a video. Here it is again. And then the next person gets on there and once again, can you send us a video? I'm like, there's a video right there. I attached it twice now. I've been through that. At least half the tickets that I do that I send in videos, that happens. Could you send us a video? Yeah. There's a fucking video attached in the first place. What do you mean when I send you a video? Like, they just don't read it.
Later, you're still trying to tell them.
It was one time when they asked for a video, and I actually sent them a link to my Twitch stream, and they're like, well, we need some timestamps or something like that. We didn't know, because I guess it was like a 3-hour video or something like that, and I probably should have given them some timestamps, but I didn't do it.
Oh god, I gave them like a 3-minute video and they asked for timestamps. I'm like, you can't watch 3 minutes, really?
I do like, that's one reason why I do like streaming. I think it's great that more people streaming Battle Pirates, the better, because it's always nice seeing how somebody else does things. You can grab little nuggets that way, and that's one of the things I hear a lot from people who watch my stream, is that they watch it just to see if they can grab any kind of nuggets. And sorry, Archie. All right. Anyway. There's, they'll watch for nuggets, and I know somebody like Sickinger, man. I bet you if that guy had a stream, man, he'd probably have like twice or 3 or 4 times my viewers. I'm sure he would.
If I had a stream, most people would be on there for 2 reasons: 1, to try and catch me hacking so they could report me, or 2, to try and steal all my ship builds and kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's true. If you do stream, I mean, you can't be like closely guarding all your secrets for sure. You know, yeah, you couldn't be closer because it all comes up at some point. You know, I mean, I don't have anything I got in my. But what I always tell people, I'm like, okay, you copy this, but don't copy this. If you're going to copy this, make sure you do this change. You know, I do that a lot.
Like, at least name it after me. Make the fleet name Sickinger. Happel did that when I was in. You fucked with him. He made my Reaper fleet with the assault mortars, and he actually named it Sick.
Yeah. Well, what else is going on, guys? What else? And we got a few more people on here. Is there any particular topics any other guys on here want to talk about?
I would just like to say, with as far as the wanting you to send a video thing, like, how broken does your game have to be if you expect me to be videoing it all the time that I'm playing it? That's all I'm going to say.
That's exactly what I tell him, too. I'm like, I might video all my base hits, but I sure as hell don't have a video running 24/7 while I'm playing. So, sorry, I don't catch every fucking glitch that I tell you guys about.
Yeah. Well, you know, there is one glitch that happened during the Forsaken Arena tournament that, you know, if it wasn't for video, people probably still wouldn't have known. And that was the one where basically if you're viewing the leaderboard while you're in queue, if you pull up the leaderboard and then your match comes up, then you don't have any control over your fleet. But people end up tying that to the leaderboard, you know, ended up tying that to the leaderboard. So as long as you don't check your leaderboard while you're in queue, you should be fine. But that's obviously a glitch, something that Kixeye needs to fix. But
it happened both the last two raids, actually, because the one before that I had plenty of video of it happening. This one cracked me up. Like, people were complaining about it the raid before that it was happening, but they weren't pointing any fingers. This raid, I saw more people throwing the hack word out at everybody, saying, oh, you were hacking into my computer and controlling my fleet, how dare you. I'm like, are you guys dumb? The same shit happened last raid. It's the glitch.
Yeah. It was really bad this time. It was a lot worse this last time for me than it was last month. You know, it was pretty bad.
There was a lot of problems with pinches too. I coined my pinches, and only the medium ones, but half the time they weren't appearing, even though the coins were going out of my account.
It Launchpad was having issues for a little while.
Yeah, I actually sent in 3 tickets within 2 days, and they actually gave me 50 coin back. So
Well,
I was happy.
It's not just the arenas for that though. I've gone into bases and I know my launch pad's repaired. I'll back out of the base and go look. Yeah, it's repaired. It has a rocket on it. Go back in the base. Still no rocket launch. There's other times that I've launched a rocket and actually hit somebody and it does nothing. And I've shown that to Kicks too. Like, hey, here's a video. The rocket landed on them and didn't pinch the fucking fleet. And they're like, oh, well, you must have been lagging, so your rocket didn't actually hit their fleet. I'm like, come on, is that really that kind of bullshit excuse?
The best one happened to me in the arena. I pinched a fleet, and it actually landed up in the top right-hand corner. We were right in the middle. I went to pinch the fleet, and the pinch actually landed right in the top corner. I wish I had videotaped it. It was so funny. No one was near it.
That was an old glitch that used to happen a lot. Yeah. You click somewhere, and then when you went to move your mouse, the rocket would actually move with your mouse before it launched. You're like, oh, shit.
The only problem I had this week is I was trying to get my Key 4 prize, and it didn't send it to me.
I've had that happen once before too. It says that they wanted a pic of that when you completed the weekly Tier 4 prize, and I says, well, how can I send you a pic? It says that I've completed it, but there's no prize in the window. So I sent them a pic of that, and they go, oh, we'll actually, what was it? What was the exact words? Oh, we will credit you this time, but next time make sure you have a video.
I had the Proto Mass campaign glitch out on me 4 times when it first came out. It wouldn't let me start the last campaign, and then when it did, the Kraken was taking no damage at all, and all they kept doing was sending me coins, so that kind of pissed me off. Now I only have 1 Proto Nem when I should have 5. But Extreme was asking in the comments, so are a few other people. I know I've run into this problem in Drac bases. He's saying he ran into it in the, I think he said weeklies.
That's a retreat button.
Yeah, the retreat button. Not so much the retreat button only, but like me, myself, I've ran into it in Drac bases. When you finish the base, the leave button is There it pops up, but it's grayed out. You can't click it, and I have to refresh the game, which then causes my fleet to take more damage, or I gotta go run and hide in a corner.
I get that in Drudges too.
Yep, that happens quite a bit.
Just more bugs.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying more bugs.
Cinnabon over here in the chat, she's wanting us to talk about the direction of the game. You know, Cinnabon, if ever you decided to come on, I'd let you pick between all of these people down here. Who you wanted me to pick, I would make
Don't
room.
say that. She'll kick me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I would make room for you, get you on here. I would.
I think Price would be the first one gone.
But there would be nobody to hit stop broadcast, so the show would just be going on and on and on. But I guess direction of the game. What do you guys think? You think Kicksai's making some progress?
No.
I believe
No
so.
progress at all.
And Andrew says no.
Very, very slow.
I would
It's
have to
better
say-
than what they've been doing over the last 4 years.
It's not enough though. It's a little, too late because. So many
Yeah,
people
I know.
died.
It's Titanic went down and it's going down. I know.
Yeah. Me personally, I mean, I do like that Kicksai's kind of acknowledged that okay, yeah, maybe we are going a little too far with some of these things, you know, with the repair times and build times. But I just kind of, I really do feel, I know they're coming out with the token stuff this month, and which is great. I'm having a hard time not being skeptical though. You know, they want us to wait until it comes out and then we can check it out before we, but you know, they want us to reserve judgment. They don't want us to judge it yet. But I hate to say, the VXP repair specialist, I mean, that was a baby step that only benefited very, very, very few people so far. And
That's supposed to be every month as well, but it hasn't been.
It's supposed to be what?
Every month, but they're supposed to be releasing that VXP specialist.
Yeah,
But it's been well over a month now.
Yeah. Well, they did announce it in April Work in Progress that it is
What,
coming.
the end of April?
Huh?
And that's going to be on the end of April 25th, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I know they're trying to schedule like their content. So basically, I know like the first full week, the Tuesday of the first full week of the month is going to be, from now on, is going to be their Forsaken Mission content drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the second week has generally been for the monthly event, and then I know the fourth week we have the Forsaken Arena tournament, I guess, something like that. But I know they're just trying to pace out all of the content, you know. So I guess they're doing the same thing with the VXP specialists. They're trying to make it like a specific week of each month. And but to me, it's baby steps. I think it's not a good idea to attach it to rank, is because not everybody's going to have legendary fleets. I mean, people who basically primarily have legendary fleets. I mean, for me, it took me months to get my Nighthawks up to legendary. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of work.
The only legendary fleet that I have really is my base guard. My Savage with my Mastodons is legendary, but I think I might have like 3 or 4 ships besides my base guard that are legendary. I hate ranking. It's tedious as hell. I get up to about 70%. I'm like, good enough, and I stop.
That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do.
The most common advice that people give me in this game is you got to rank your guard. You got to rank your guard, because most of my guard doesn't have anything, not even one stripe.
I have hit bases that I'll run into a base with a similar design with almost the exact same guard fleet, but it's max ranked, and I either barely get in or I can't get in, and then I'll hit another person's base and their shit's not ranked, and I walk in with like a quarter damage. The rank is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm really kind of skeptical, like I was saying, about these build tokens. I mean, if they're going to be like in 15-minute increments, and you know, is it going to cost gold to get? You know, are you going to have to spend gold to get it? I mean, because if 2 tokens is the same thing as 1 gold, is it kind of diminishes the value of the tokens, doesn't it?
Yes,
if you have
yes.
to spend gold to get it. So I mean, I don't know what you're going to have to do to get it. So
Well, they said the last thing I saw says you win the tokens, so you don't necessarily have the option to buy them. I don't think, but I think eventually they're going to make it so you can buy them as well as win them, and the winning is probably going to be much slower than anybody wants it to be.
you know. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I was told, or what I kind of read in the forum, is that they had campaigns in mind.
Oh, the campaign. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he just like disappear as Archie? Because
Yeah.
I really don't know what he was trying to say.
It's cut
Yeah,
in
he-
and out.
But you know what I think would be a great idea. I think it would be awesome if they, you know, all of those when you're doing your Forsaken missions and you've got the tier 1. If you've got all of those completed, you got all the tier 2, and you get the stars on your Forsaken missions. Wouldn't it be nice if you had everything and so they would give you tokens instead? You know, I think that would be awesome. Not to mention. I think that would be great, and also, you know, as far as Forsaken mission content, I mean, I think they should reduce that too. I think they should reduce it down to like maybe 2 tier 4 items a month instead of 3. You know, so people can like get caught up or stay current, that kind of thing.
Like,
Here's an
this
idea,
this
Price.
week's made no sense to me. It
Well,
seems like.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Here's an idea. You were talking about when you got stars in your missions. Them that you missed in tier 4 or they've taken out of tier 4. Why don't they introduce them and slot it down one so it comes into tier 3?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be nice. A lot of the tier 4 stuff should be in tier 3 anyway.
That's what Nash was saying about the whole raids. They this month up here, then next month down here, then next month down there.
Well, my thing with the weeklies is, like, this week confused the hell out of me. They didn't add any new content, but they still took a bunch of shit off the T5. Or T4, I mean. I was like, okay.
They rotated some of the old BPs I seen.
I mean, it didn't bother me any. I had them all, but I mean, I think about a lot of the people in my alliance and the other small people too, and I'm like, well, that just kind of fucked them all over. Like, new people starting, they have no blueprints. They go in there, see something they like, and they start trying to grind up to get the tier 4, and then they all of a sudden can't win any good prizes. It's like, well, that sucks.
I'm glad they did put their D5E in there. I think the MCX probably shouldn't be a tier 4 item though. I think that should be like a tier 3 item.
Yeah, MCX is kind of useless now, but
Yeah.
D5E is really good, so I hope they keep that in there for a while for the people who didn't get a chance to get it. Same with Bulkhead. They kind of need to bring Bulkhead back because the people that have it have such a huge advantage now over the people that don't. The Bulkhead armor is insane.
I've seen a lot of complaints about people about not getting the bulkheads. A lot of people really upset about that.
Yeah, the bulkhead by
half a
itself.
dozen.
The bulkhead by itself is the reason that I'm able to make fleets right now that have 35, 36k armor per ship and still doing really good damage output. That armor is insane. You need it.
I had one boat that I was building, and it was my Grimshine Berserker, and I was building it. And I had a design all set up, but a guy in my alliance, he went ahead and tweaked it. He like took a couple of things off, put bulkhead on, and basically my attributes were just about the same, except it had like 10% less evade, and he was basically knocked like 5 days off my build time. I was like, man, that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was in awe. I was like, shoot, man, that's right now is the only boat that I have bulkhead. But now I'm actually, when I'm designing the fleets, I'm looking for places that I can put bulkhead on.
Well, it's a similar thing to when I upgraded my Jug X's when R5 came out. Everybody was running almost all evade, but I dropped it down to only 4 evade plates because I just retroed the shit out of my evade. If you retro that up enough, you don't have to worry about it so much.
Yeah, a lot of people are using the Reapers too with the now that there's a 75 base cap, and if you're only using your Reapers for prep and base cards, maybe you can actually pull one of your your D2S panels off, put a bulkhead on there instead, and still I figure if anything you do over 75% cloak efficiency is kind of a waste now when you're using it for prep and bases. So.
That's the way he was saying about anything after R11. When you retrofit, that 1% ain't going to matter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was told in the forums that to get tokens, you're going to have to get a campaign.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you said something about a campaign, buddy.
He said to get tokens, he saw in the forums that it'll be a campaign for him.
Oh, yeah, the very first one, yeah. That's how they're going to plan on introducing it to the game. I don't know if it's going to be that way going forward. I kind of hope not, because we have enough time campaigns now, don't we? I mean, with the Going Rogue and the Let It Burn, I don't think we would have another one for tokens.
I'd like to see them add it kind of like how they have Uranium, like in the weekly. Like, you get to tier 1, you get some of the lower end tokens, higher end tokens as you get up to tiers, maybe like only 1 or 2. But more than likely, I see them doing the same thing. It's here they are for campaigns, and then maybe a few months down the road, going, oh, we could make money off these too, and then letting people buy them too.
Well,
Sadly, that's what I probably see.
Wasn't it the April work in progress? I think on the April work in progress they did say that that's how they were going to be introducing the tokens.
Yeah, they are.
A time limited campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think releasing, giving everybody, because they said they were going to be different tiers of the tokens. So I think putting like you get one token per tier that you do for the weekly, kind of like how they give us a low amount of uranium. I think that'd be cool. But I doubt it'll happen. Didn't
they say about the weekly, if you had like all the prizes in tier 1, you'd get one token? Or didn't Doug mention that when he was on?
No.
I haven't seen that, but that would be cool.
That would have been great.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on damage to get these tokens compared to how much they give back too. Like if we have to do a campaign and it takes 18 hours of damage to get a token that gives you 4 hours of repair, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's another reason why I'd say I'd rather see them come off on like something else that we already do as a little bonus, because then it's you're already doing that anyway, so you're not really taking the extra damage, but you're going to get the token.
For sake of missions, anyone.
Yeah, exactly. You do your weekly, and here you go, 4 tokens of different values on them. That'd be nice.
Well, this is the idea. If you play 10 hours of the game, you get a token.
Like that won't work because I could literally log into BP and have a not a bot. There's programs you can use that make your mouse move or click every so often.
I know
can do something like that and just have my mouse move like every minute or two so it doesn't log me out, and I come back home and have 20 tokens. Nah.
Well, you're right.
I personally think seeing them maybe in drac bases might not be a bad idea, because like the uranium payout for as long as it takes to do a drac base is kind of a joke. So they need to like add some kind of little bump to them.
It used to be doubled, and then they cut it in half when dredges came out because they wanted people to hit the dredges because they cost more.
Yeah.
I'll take some fleet repair too to get a build token, but I don't know how much it's going to be.
I mean, shoot, they could even do something like, make it if you 100% a base, you get a build token, even if it's only like an hour one or something.
Maybe you get some tokens too for some of them achievements. Make those achievements worth something. I might actually build my 5 Marauders.
5 gunboats, here I come.
How about
you don't even get a badge for it. You don't even get a badge for that.
No, trade your badges in for some tokens.
Yeah, cash medals, and I'd be okay with that.
Exchange some medals for tokens, that'd be nice.
Oh yeah, most
definitely. I'd never have any medals at that point.
I'd be looking for them like, where's more medals?
Oh no, if you drain yourself to 0, you can pick medals off people so fast that way. So if that was the point, they can't do that for anything, because if you can ever trade your medals in for anything, you drop down to 0 and go hit somebody that has like 100, and you're going to get 45 off them, or 49 or whatever it is right away.
49's max.
They won't do that.
Then the hate mail starts flying. I really love doing that.
Man, we got some pirates here tonight.
Yep.
Ben's better.
I see so many people. I go to hit dredges, and I see people pull up next to the dredge as I'm going into it, and they just sit there. And then as I'm in there, all of a sudden they're watching. I'm like, I know exactly what they're waiting for. It ain't gonna happen. Yep. Sorry. Like, I don't prep dredges. That's exactly why.
Yeah. Well, is there any other topics that anybody would want to hear? Is there something that you'd like to see brought up here on the round table?
One last second. Toxic just said in the comments to, or no, it wasn't Toxic. Oh, who said it? I lost it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Extreme said trade in the useless, hired
mercenary fleets.
That'd be nice. I have like 280 of those fucking things. Let me trade those in. Come on.
Well, that what kills me about those things is that it's still like ghost launches. My mercenary fleets, where you go in there and it's like sometimes you have the option to launch them and sometimes you don't, and then when you go to check why, click on it because you don't have the option to. It basically says you'll be able to launch another one in 4.5 hours, but you didn't launch any. So I can't believe that bug. That's like the oldest bug in the game. I mean, you'd think that at some point they would have fixed that on accident.
Well, they found out what's causing it. They just haven't never fixed it because it was, oh god, it must have been damn near 2 years ago. Found out it was when somebody tries to force send you a merc fleet. Like if they go to send it to you and your name's not on the list and they just type your name in and then send it anyway, That's what does it. You can only receive one a day. If they send you more than that, then it launches one of yours. So you lose one instead of gaining one.
Oh no.
Oh,
Dang.
is that why I only got 70?
Well, you know, that's weird. Is because I mean I still have that like all the time, and it seems like the clock is always associated by like maybe the first time I log into the game that day or something like that. Like it just seems like it was more attached to like an action that I did. You
Nope,
know?
it's other people trying to force send you merc fleets when you already got one for the day. It bothers me a little bit, but not much. The only time I use them is when I'm dicking around trying to hit like level 50 bases with them to really piss people off. But
Yeah. Well, if my guard's not finished repairing for my prior hit, you know, sometimes I'll put one on there when my bubble's getting ready to pop. But, you know, it just seems sometimes I'll do it to test the water just to see if there's any Phantom Nighthawks out there too, you know.
yeah, I love it when people guard a base with Phantoms. Like, normally I can't see this fleet, can't kill it. It has to hit what it wants to, and then they guard a base. I'm like, thank you. Here comes the sub killers. I'll do that too. Like I'll roll around bases that I know that they have a lot of people there with the Phantoms. So I'll put like a weird lead ship, and then it'll be my sub killers behind it, and I'll just act like I'm going straight at the base, wait for that proto or for the Phantom to guard, and I'm like, thank you, mine.
Heard that, man. You know, I've never had those kind of, because I've always thought about that too. I'm like, you know, right now my Phantom Nighthawks have an advantage because nobody can see them, and if I were to put them on guard, you know, that's why I'd never do it. Is because all of a sudden I'm just handing over my advantage. So.
I built that anti-sub fleet because people were doing that to me so much. I'd go to hit a base, and it would show me hit the base, and then like a minute later my fleet still hasn't engaged, and all of a sudden my fleet turns red, and a Phantom would appear in front of the base. I'm like, what the hell is that shit?
Yeah.
That's another big problem too, is the lag issues between hitting a base and your fleet getting caught, or your base docking and somebody being able to hit it.
Well,
the answer I always get is it's lag on your end or on their end, and we can't fix it. Well, I'm sorry, but if somebody else's lag is causing them to have an advantage to where they can hit me because on their computer it hasn't shown me hit a base yet, that's bullshit.
Do you ever get this one where you actually hit the base and it shows the base red, but somebody's already tagged your fleet and you can't actually go and view that base? And you
That's
only
exactly
can
what I'm talking about. If you
Yeah,
tell
you should be
Pixar
able to
about
pick-
that, and they'll tell you
which
it's lag
battle.
on the other person's end. Oh. Well, let's say
It'd
it's
be
lag
nice
on
if
the
you
other
could pick
person's
your
end.
battle in those situations, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that would have been extremely nice.
Yeah,
Because
it
it seems
normally
like
goes
you always
into
get the battle you
fleet
don't
one.
want.
Yeah.
Well, what I think would be nice is if you could pick your weekly prize.
That would be awesome.
They'll never do that either because when the new content comes out, nope. It would turn into nobody's ever doing weeklies because they don't want the crappy prizes, and then new content will come out and they would do it and get to pick the new prize and then stop doing them again. The weekly missions bring them revenue because people repair their fleets to try and get it done fast, so they're not going to ever do that.
People would still do the weekly mission just for their uranium, if nothing else. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the smart people would anyway, but I'm not going to accuse everybody of being smart. Well,
funny you
anyway.
say-
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's funny that Chris said that about Phantoms. I use a Phantom lead sometimes to try to get people to hit me with sub killers. I'll have like carriers in there with a Phantom lead or something, guarding the base.
Heard that. He's got your number. All right. Well, anybody else? I know we've had a couple of quiet guys on here. David, you, how are you doing, bud? Is there any particular thing you wanted to talk about?
Actually, I'm more concerned for like the lower levels. Those guys that starting up in the end of the 40s that just getting up in the 50s. I'm finding watching them, they're having a difficult time just trying to get the content to even become competitive at their own levels.
Yeah, you know, really the only kind of advice you can give to those guys, I mean, it just seems like, you know, some advice that I've always given, you know, is you know, get an alliance. You know, usually if you get an alliance, you know, people want you to be strong, okay, because they want you to contribute to the group, and sometimes if you know, some alliances, not all of them, have some big coiners, and if somebody offers to help you, don't be like, well, I don't want you to spend your money on me. Just let them, because they're going to spend it anyway.
Yeah, I know. Those that I can, we have a couple in our alliance that we're helping out as much as we can, but I've seen some other people that I know that are not in an alliance that are trying to find an alliance that can help them, but at the same point trying to play the game where you get, say, for example, there are 46 and they get a 52 that's been either a reset or have been around for a year or so and haven't really played and have come in with hellhounds and wipe them out, and they get very discouraged because there's no way they can stop some of the stuff that.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say there's uh, yeah, I've often defended the kind of actions like for like myself, I'm a level 84 now, and a lot of times when I'm going out to get my alliance points, I'm basically trying to see how many bases I can kill with the fewest number of fleets as possible, right? That way I can, because and I don't like the big repairs, but I do feel bad sometimes. I watched a 51 getting hit earlier today by a legendary V2C fleet, man, and I'm like, the guy just barely got scratched, killing that base. I really felt bad. I felt bad for that guy, that base.
Well, at least I got hit by a 52.
I mean, that's when you just, those guys are the ones that hit start, hit the back of the base, and go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And
he's talking about me.
No, I would never say that you do that. I mean, how many times have you heard me say, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee? But that's only because they were dumb enough to hit somebody in the alliance, all right? Then I don't feel bad. But what do we tell our lower levels that when they do get hit like that, when you know for a fact that they're trying their best, and the best they can come up with is, all right, they've done the campaign, they've got the Sentinel-4, and we're just gonna, that might scratch the paint if they don't have enough wax on their ship.
Yeah. I usually what I'll tell those lower guys too. I mean, if you're getting like farmed on Mondays, which I'm sure you are, I just don't see any way of getting around it. I'll try to give people the option. If they're going to hit my base, then I move my dock out. My dock's not inside my base. I keep my dock on the outside of the base. That way, if I'm getting attacked, people have the option of missing it. A lot of times when you're level 50 and if you're not actively hitting a lot of bases, you probably got 0 medals anyway, or worse 0 medals to the guy who's trying to get his alliance points. So if you put your dock out, a lot of times they'll leave it, and then you can still get on and play.
When I hit a base, I try not to go for the dock.
Yeah, I definitely try to avoid the dock whenever I can, but a lot of people, they'll park the dock right next to the outpost, and you can't do anything about it.
Well, I had my dock on the outside, and I had the same problem you did. They were just coming in and sniping my dock all the time.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to put it inside.
I don't have that very often. Every now and then I do. I get, sometimes people try to troll me, and and then occasionally I move the dock in, but most of the time, 90% of the time, probably 95% of the time, I keep it on the outside. Most people are cool with it, being out there, and they don't mind not killing it.
Hey, Price, just a quick second. You got some guy named Kareem in chat you might want to look at. He keeps spamming advertisements, and they're telling people to subscribe to him.
All right. He's gone.
Well, one thing about that, if you use your hotkeys for the shift, as soon as you get in range, you could hit the target that you want, like the outpost. So it doesn't hit the dock, was what I use.
Yeah, but you've always got retargeted, not always it's the dock anyway.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I take it out, I would hit retreat regardless. So.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're kind of starting to dry up with content on here, so probably pushing a little too hard. So I'm probably going to just wrap the show up. Going once, going twice, 3 times. I mean, if anybody got anything else, then
I'm all good.
I got one thing.
Oh, go ahead. Who's that, Kiwi? Yeah, go ahead, Kiwi.
Yeah. I've got an issue, like, when I go to launch a fleet, if I go, before just going from the base view to the map view, it takes about 10 seconds max. When I go to launch a fleet, it'll take about 10 to 20 seconds, and then the loading page will take another 40 seconds. Now, I put in a ticket to Kix about this. They told me to do that internet check and all that. I sent it back. They said my internet was fine, and it's still happening. Any suggestions of how to fix it?
Nope.
I'm sorry. What did you want to get fixed? You're talking about just the load time of your game?
No, okay. When you go from your base view to the map view, on my game it can take from 5 to 10 seconds. But when I launch a fleet, it takes about 20 seconds to actually go to the loading page of the map, and then it can take another 20 to 25 seconds, if not longer, for the actual map to come up.
Yeah.
And my fleet's already sitting out there and can be sniped. Now I've seen other guys, they come out and as soon as their fleet appears, they're moving away. I can't do that.
If you double click the launch button whenever you go to launch, I've noticed that tends to launch it and take you out to the map a lot faster.
Well, you're like you're in New Zealand too, right?
No, I'm in Australia.
Oh, Australia. I'm just really curious how far. I'm curious how far you are away from any Kick servers. And I'm just wondering if there's what kind of latency you might have to Kixeye.
There's actually a Kixeye base here in Brisbane.
Okay.
I don't know if they got servers here or not, but
well, I know the Vega Conflict team works from there, so I know they have an office there. So I just I don't know. I know they have. You know, if you ever have you ever done any kind of like network diagnostics for Kixeye for a ticket?
Yeah, they
said
my upload and download speed's fine and all that, but it still happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying upload and download speed might be fine, but then there's a ping time, or which that's how people gauge latency between the two endpoints. You know, so even though you might have good bandwidth, if you have poor latency, then you know, and that's what it sounds to me like. You might potentially have poor latency, but and a lot of things can cause that. It could be memory issues like buffering. There could be you know, processor utilization, and it might not necessarily be your computer. I mean, it could be a processor utilization on your router, could drive your latency up, but you know, it just sounds to me like it's potentially a latency issue for you. But I'm a network guy, so that's, you know, that's probably why I'm going in that direction. So it could actually be something else.
Yeah, it happens with me from time to time too.
Yeah. Was that a customer service answer or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I would. Yeah, I probably would try doing some network diagnostics with you to figure out what that issue was. But I mean, if anybody else on here has any kind of experience with that, and they might have some kind of a tip for you that you can try and see if it works. But if I were customer service, I probably would try doing some network diagnostics with you just to find out, you know, latency. And if it was, and if there is latency, it doesn't mean that it's something that they can fix. You know, you know, if it does turn out to be an issue with your router, you're at your house, you know, it could be running hot or whatever, you know, that obviously that would be on you to fix. It wouldn't be anything that they could address.
Yeah, a lot of times when I get that, it's slow loading after I tell it to launch. Refresh the game, clears it up. Same with any other lag in the game. If you're in a base and it starts kind of glitching on you, retreat out, refresh the game, go back in, it's normally fine. If you're close to raid time, then yeah, you'll be fine until the end of that base hit, and then it's jacked up again. So there's nothing really you can do.
I've tried all that, and the same thing keeps happening.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, and like I said when I was talking about processor utilization, I mean, you could have like virus scanner running at that time, or Windows Update. Your computer might be waiting to reboot or something like that after a Windows Update. I mean, so there's just a whole lot of things that it could be. You know, so you know, if a rebooting your computer fixes it, you know, that's just something to keep notice of. You know, and me personally, with my Windows updates, I manage them myself. I don't let all that stuff go on auto. I do the same thing with my virus protection. You know, I don't let it auto update or auto run. Yeah, I don't let it do any of that.
No, I've got all them set where I can control them.
Okay. Oh, now, well, there was Ryan. Were you getting ready to say something too? Earlier?
No, I'm good.
All
I
righty.
wasn't sure what it was going to be. I'm just happy that they had a Let It Burn campaign before the raid so we can actually roll for the cruise.
I gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, it's I mean we're a little short on the time, so I mean it's fine. We don't have to really fill up the whole hour. But I do want to appreciate everybody on the panel for showing up and contributing to the show. I think it was kind of a fun show, and hopefully everybody who's watching feels the same way. And yeah, for our shows, for people who are looking for more information on our shows, the more information can be found at bp.battlevortex.tv. That's the address page or the address for our Facebook group. It's bp.battlevortex.tv, and we generally try to keep show information pinned. You can always look at the events tab too to see if we put in the next event on there. We try to do our roundtables every Saturday the exact same time, and this is we try to use Kickside time where possible. So it's 3 p.m. on Saturdays for roundtables. And that's Kickside time, and the Thursday shows are regular shows that are arbiters only, and those are 5 p.m. Kickside time. So anyway, again, thanks everybody for showing up, and
Thank you for having me.
yep, y'all have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Yep, thank you for having me. Bye.
Take care.